One of the worst things I think about the premillennial dispensational viewpoint, and whether it's pre-trib or post-trib or whatever, but the dispensational viewpoint that people like Jan Markell um, claim is the only way to read the Bible is this notion that modern Israel, the modern person who calls himself or herself a Jew, is somehow a special person to God, is actually God's people. They're God's people, 15 million of them. And the reason they're God's people is they call themselves Jews. And obviously this ignores entirely the New Testament, because the New Testament clearly states over and over again, starting with John in John chapter 1, verse 11, verses 10 and 11, where it says clearly that Jesus came unto his own, which were the Jews, and his own received him not, which were the Jews. But as many as did receive him, some Jews did, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them who believed on his name. The rest are not the sons of God. Romans chapter 2, 3, 4 through Romans 7, Paul clearly lays out it isn't DNA that makes you a child of God. It isn't DNA that makes you righteous. It's faith in Jesus Christ. So I think the Bible is very clear. People who call themselves Jews, and the reason I say that is, my theory is this. I don't think it's really that. It's not really a theory. It's pretty proven. People are Jews. People convert to Judaism, or maybe they say I'm a Jew because my mother was, my grandmother was. Eventually, if you track that back to someone who's actually religious as a Jew, they're a Jew because they reject Jesus as Messiah. And so I'm going to prove that here with this video. By the way, you guys, you should, I recommend you go to this site. I'll just type it in here, JewsForJudaism.com. JewsForJudaism.com. We have Jews for Jesus. Okay, somebody started a website to contradict that or counteract that, because this site is absolutely anti-Christian, and it's not going to come up for me now, is it? Jews for Judaism, not going to come up today. But anyway, check this one out, Jews for Judaism, and they also have a YouTube channel. Highly recommend it. It's very educational. Not going to play today, I guess, but here's one of the big problems I have with people like the dispensationalist Jan Markell. She says this in a recent video.
Super sign is the return of the Jews to Israel, the restoration of the land of Israel. They actually even had their original language restored, which that in itself was a miracle. Everything about that, against all odds, would be an overall title for the miracle of, we could say the miracle of the 20th century, but I say the miracle of all time, and that is the rebirth of the nation of Israel. And then along with that, the temple had to come back into prominence because it's going to play the major role in the fourth.
I'll just stop right there. Enough of that hogwash. The greatest miracle of all time, Jan says, is the return of Israel to the world as a nation. Can you believe this woman? The greatest miracle of all time is the return of Israel. So she is basically saying, so go check out that site, JewsForJudaism.com. She is saying that God miraculously created a nation that now has 15 million people who hate Jesus Christ, who do not believe Jesus is the Christ. If you're not for him, you're against him. 15 million antichrists. That was a miracle from God. In fact, it was the greatest miracle of all time. Unbelievable. That statement right there, folks, should make you shut Jan off. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. Nobody who's truly speaking for God would say such a horrific thing. She is not only helping send Jews to hell with statements like that, because she's telling them, yeah, keep believing what you believe. You're God's people. So she's not only telling people that, who are Jews, she's also telling God to his face, hey, you create antichrists out of your own miraculous will. Stunning, absolutely stunning. So let me prove Jan is full of it right here. I've subscribed to this channel for a long time. This guy goes around, and it's called Ask an Israeli or Ask a Palestinian. He just asks people questions and gets their answers. And the answers are they're pretty eye-opening because wow, they're just, interesting. So I would subscribe to this guy too. If you really care about what real people think over in the so-called Holy Land, Palestinian or Jew or whatever, Israeli or whatever, if you really care what the real people on the street think, watch this channel. It's very eye-opening. So his question today, why doesn't Jesus have more influence among
ישו הוא היהודי הבעל ההשפעה הכי גדולה בעולם, נכון? למה יהודים לא... כן. יש לו השפעה על כולם חוץ מהיהודים. זה קצת אבסורדי.
בגלל שהוא יצא מהיהדות, אז יש כאלה שנשארו מאחור.
He left Judaism. Did you catch what he said? He said the reason Jews don't like Jesus, he believes the opposite of them. Do you understand that? People are Jews because they say, well, we believe the Bible, but not the New Testament. Is that not a fact? Listen to this guy. This guy identifies as he's not a believer. Ready?
You're secular, I assume?
Secular.
Or religious? Okay. Secular. Traditional even?
I would say that, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Jesus is the most influential Jew in the world. Why is it the rest of the world is influenced by him, but not the Jews?
Wow. No idea.
You ever thought about that?
Why is influence doesn't...
Yeah, why is there no influence here from Jesus?
It's like different path we went. Like,
Different path.
We started a
New religion.
and we like went to the other path. I don't know. What's the connection?
Sorry, that now an ad might play. Did you catch what he said? This is a guy who has never even thought about it. He's never even thought about it, but he lives there, and he's a self-proclaimed Jew. He identifies as a secular Jew. Secular Jew. Even a secular Jew understands.
Hey, you're going to be spending a lot.
That, oh my goodness, that's a really strange question. Why don't Jews follow him? Because they don't believe what he believes. And yet here is horrific Jan Markell telling everybody that the greatest miracle that God the Father, the God of the Bible, ever did was to create a new nation of 15 million antichrists. Think about it.